Hello everyone, this is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, check out the notes section below for interesting links and information. Remember, I post a new video every day. I try to keep the videos short, under 10 minutes for your convenience and enjoyment. Email me at adam@trezorhelp.com if you need Trezor help, if you want a crypto consultation, or if you just want to say hello. I have to thank the Dash guy again. He sent me more Dash after yesterday's video. What a dude, thank you. I know he has to be watching these videos. At least it's a big coincidence if he keeps on sending me the Dash after these videos are made, and I thank him. So thanks. Also, Monero sent me some Monero. I mean, are they like competing against each other to get my attention? Who knows? Thanks to the person who sent me the Ethereum Classic, and thanks to the very special person who sent me the XPER. XPER? More on what on earth that is soon. I also have an affiliate link now with Trezor that if you want to buy a Trezor, you can just click on it and it hooks me up a little bit. That link will be below. Here's another plug for Andy Hoffman and Miles Franklin, who mentioned me on the Financial Survival Network. I'll give a link to that show. Thank you, Andy. I want to say that Vays is the most principled man in all of cryptocurrency because he won't join Steemit. Everyone else has joined Steemit, and I'm not blaming everyone for joining Steemit. I joined Steemit. There's nothing wrong with joining Steemit. Trace Mayer just joined Steemit and is talking it up now. But Tone is really principled. And he, with all the financial offerings, all the money people have made off of him on Steemit, he's still not joining Steemit. So you have to respect Tone Vays. You really do. If you disagree with him, you have to respect him, though. Vice just came out with an article about Steem and Steemit. I will link to it. As I alluded to before, Trace Mayer has joined Steemit, and he came out with a glowing podcast that I will link to. He wants to try it out, and you can't blame him. He wants to try it out before he says too much about it, but he does say a lot of good things about it. I don't think he's gotten into it yet, and I think what a lot of people are saying, what he thinks it all boils, what it boils down to for me, one of the big problems right now with this site is that the content is not good. One of the first things people say is, oh, the content's so great. It's not good. It's mostly one big infomercial for Steemit, which gets kind of boring after a while. I mean, it's exciting at first. The platform is really exciting, yeah, but there's only so much you can hear of an infomercial, and it's like everyone has been trained to vote up the infomercials. And there are hidden gem great articles in there. There are great, but there's a lot of trash. And so when you hear people saying, oh, it's filled with great, the content's so great, I don't think they're really on the site at all. They're not paying attention, or they're just blind. So, they can go, Steemit can fix, they can change things. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm actually saying do it, but I am saying don't buy Steem Power or don't buy Steem, obviously. The Bitcoin group had a show today. I will link to that below. And I want to say that all this stuff I'm saying, I've had notes for like a few days now, and I've meant to do this for a while, and now I'm finally just getting around to saying some of these things, so I'm going to be reading a lot. There's a pro-Ethereum piece, and I will link to it at It's a CoinDesk from a few days ago. Basically, what I thought of this piece, and it was done by like a Wall Street type of guy that likes Ethereum and doesn't like Ethereum Classic, wants people to choose Ethereum. He thinks the Ethereum community needs to choose one. Does this guy think the so-called Ethereum community lives in their own little bubble? Because Bitcoin fans who were not into Ethereum before the fork suddenly became interested in Ethereum Classic because it stood for something. The number of people in the Bitcoin community far outnumber the people in the Ethereum community, and they are going to have their say also. So are all sorts of other people who deal with other cryptocurrencies. It seems like this guy's tendency towards central authority and control are blinding him to reality. This is not about a product where there are only two choices. There are hundreds of cryptos out there. If Ethereum Classic disappeared tomorrow, then all the former Ethereum Classic holders would not magically be forced to use Ethereum. They would have hundreds of other altcoins and, of course, Bitcoin to choose from. And again, the guy is a Wall Street guy, wrote this, and it adds to this stereotype that Ethereum is this commercial and centralized, while Ethereum Classic is like the people's Ethereum. And again, I own both of them, but I'm just saying some things I think about this article, because it was a big article 2 days ago. People ask why Bitcoin people want to get into Ethereum Classic now, and there are a few reasons. But if you go back in time and you remember the adversarial environment of Ethereum during its amazing run before Bitcoin's amazing run this spring, and you remember all the big talk about Ethereum, why should people in Bitcoin really cared about immutability back then in terms of Ethereum? Right now people are like, I want to get into Ethereum Classic because of its immutability. And people are like, well, why weren't you interested in Ethereum back then when it was still immutable? Well, it's because of the adversarial relationship. But obviously, they were curious, the Bitcoin people. And obviously, there are some that are buying Ethereum Classic to get back at Ethereum. And I'm not one of those people, and I don't encourage people to do something like that. But there are some. And you have to remember that there's always going to be a reaction to your action. Just because you feel like you're a king of the world and you talk tough and bold and brash, it doesn't mean that you won't fall. And when you do, you better believe that some of the people you were belittling are going to strike back. And yes, there are many Bitcoin people that hated the fact Ethereum had a central authority in Vitalik. And with that centralization gone, they are on board with Ethereum Classic. Keep in mind, always, there are so many more Bitcoin people than Ethereum people. And that Bitcoin could have a huge influence on the Ethereum Classic, Ethereum struggle, if you want to call it a struggle. And mass dumps by Ethereum people could easily be countered by moves by Bitcoin people wanting to strike back. How about a scenario, God forbid, where Bitcoin had hard forked, just like this? You don't think there would be Ethereum people jumping all over the new Roger Ver Bitcoin just to annoy Bitcoin people, or maybe to make some quick cash? There's nothing wrong with buying into something like this as a speculation to make money. It's a free market. Again, remember, and let me repeat, it is a free market. So people are going to do what they're going to do. Do you ever notice the comment section of some of the FUD articles about Ethereum Classic? That the pro-Ethereum Classic comments usually far outnumber the pro-Ethereum ones? I don't know. That's just what I've noticed. The Bitcoin fork plan. I saw a link to that on GitHub. Did that cause some Bitcoin price drop lately? Irrational panic again? Seems like every rumor scares off the weak hands. Have a strong hand, people. I will link to that GitHub thing about the Bitcoin fork. Maybe some of you panic. Don't panic, people. And have a great weekend. I'm Adam Meister.